You think she's fine now, don't you? You see her posting those smiling pictures, that new haircut, that fake glow of freedom, pretending she's finally found herself. But deep down, she hasn't. She's lost something she'll never get back, and she knows it. What happens to a woman who cheats and then loses the man she betrayed? It's not the fairy tale she thought it would be. It's a slow, haunting realization that no amount of makeup, new clothes, or validation can hide. Before we go deeper, if you've ever been betrayed, if you've ever had your heart broken and still kept your dignity, hit that subscribe and like button, because what I'm about to tell you isn't from gossip or bitterness. It's from years of observing female behavior as a psychologist. And I promise you, this will change the way you see her silence after the divorce. At first, she feels powerful, the cheater's high, that rush of "I got away with it." She tells herself she deserves better. She convinces herself the affair was love. But that high doesn't last. When the reality sets in, when you stop calling, when your presence disappears from her life, something inside her collapses. You see, she expected chaos from you, anger, tears. But what she didn't expect was indifference. Nothing wounds a woman more than realizing she's no longer the center of the man she betrayed. So what happens next? She tries to fill the silence. Dating apps, parties, the same cycle of attention-seeking that once made her feel desired, but every new man feels empty. Because no matter how many compliments she collects, none of them carry the same weight as the loyalty she destroyed. Women crave emotional security, even the ones who cheat. And once that's gone, once she's burned the bridge with the man who gave it to her, she's haunted by it every single day. She'll laugh louder in public, but cry quieter at night. She'll look confident on the outside, but question her worth inside. And what's most ironic? The same woman who once called you too controlling or too boring will now secretly compare every man to you and hate herself for it. That's the silent punishment of a cheater after divorce. The one she can't post about, the one no one can see. But it gets darker because that's just the beginning of her downfall. Here's what no one tells you. The aftermath of her betrayal doesn't destroy her all at once. It eats her slowly. You see, after the divorce, the woman who cheated often becomes addicted to distraction. She'll drown herself in new experiences, saying she's just exploring life. But really, she's trying to escape her own reflection. Because when a woman looks in the mirror after losing a man she betrayed, she sees two versions of herself, the one she pretends to be and the one she actually is. And the gap between those two grows wider every day. At first, she'll play strong. She'll tell her friends how toxic you were, how she's finally free. They'll nod, clap, pour her wine. But deep inside, she knows she's lying. Because the truth is, women cheat for emotion, not for impulse. When she betrayed you, it wasn't just a physical act. It was an emotional gamble. She risked everything for the thrill of being desired again. But after the affair fades and the new man stops treating her like a fantasy, the brutal silence begins. That's when she realizes she traded loyalty for attention, and attention always expires. She'll start to see things differently now. The little things she used to take for granted, your consistency, your presence, your small acts of protection, they'll hit her harder than guilt ever did. She'll remember how you stayed up late when she was upset, how you defended her when no one else did, how you believed her when she didn't even believe in herself. And those memories will come back not as nostalgia, but as nightmares of what she destroyed. And when she tries to date again, she'll notice something else. Men aren't the same anymore. Because once a woman's past carries betrayal, men sense it. They might not say it, but they feel it. That subtle lack of trust, that emotional restlessness, it leaks out of her. And no man wants to fix what another man already tried to hold together. So she'll find herself repeating the same pattern, searching for validation in men who don't stay, who don't care, who only see her surface. And late at night, when the world goes quiet, she'll scroll through her old photos, pause on your face, and feel that pit in her stomach. The one that whispers, "He was the one who would have never left." But she's the one who did. And now she has to live with that truth every single day. You see, what follows next isn't guilt. It's identity collapse. After the divorce, she's not just missing you. She's missing the version of herself that existed when she was with you. A woman's sense of self is often tied to the man she admires. When that man is gone, especially because she pushed him away, she starts to question who she really is. The confident woman she once pretended to be, she disappears, and what's left is a broken reflection. A woman who doesn't recognize her own eyes anymore. She'll start to chase reinvention. Maybe she'll change her wardrobe, move cities, dive into new hobbies, anything to outrun the guilt that follows her. But guilt isn't something you can move away from. It travels with you. It sleeps beside you. It speaks in the quiet moments when no one's around. And for a woman who cheated, that guilt often turns into a kind of silent self-punishment. She'll attract chaos into her life, toxic men, unstable relationships, endless drama, because deep down she feels she deserves it. And here's the psychological truth. A woman who's betrayed love once becomes deeply afraid of ever feeling that kind of connection again, because if she allows herself to fall in love, she risks being exposed, reminded of how easily she destroyed something pure. So she builds emotional walls disguised as independence. She tells herself she doesn't need anyone but the truth. Every night she wishes someone did need her, just not enough to see how broken she's become. And the more she tries to numb it, the more the emptiness grows. Because a woman can distract herself with people, but she can't escape her conscience. She might post motivational quotes about self-love and growth, but the growth she shows online isn't real healing. It's a mask. The kind of mask that slips when she's alone, when the laughter fades, when the silence feels like punishment. What's even more painful is when she sees you moving on, calm, collected, at peace, because she expected you to be bitter. She expected you to chase, to argue, to try to fix things, but instead, you healed. And that terrifies her because now she's forced to see what she lost. A man who had every reason to hate her but chose peace instead. And nothing haunts a guilty woman more than watching the man she broke finally live better without her. Regret doesn't hit her like lightning. It seeps in like poison. It begins quietly in moments she doesn't expect. She'll hear a song you both used to listen to and suddenly her chest tightens. She'll drive past a place where you once laughed together and her eyes will blur for a second. That's how regret works. It doesn't announce itself. It creeps in and steals her peace one memory at a time. And the worst part, there's no one she can tell. Because admitting her regret means admitting that you were the one she should have never let go. You see, after divorce, especially when she was the one who cheated, she's desperate to prove she's happy. She needs the world to believe that she made the right choice. But deep down, every post, every smile, every new chapter caption is a lie she tells herself just to survive. Because the truth is brutal. Happiness built on betrayal never lasts. It's like building a house on sand. Eventually, everything starts to sink. She'll start noticing the difference between men who wanted her for who she was and men who just want her body. And it'll sting because she remembers how you looked at her, not just as a woman, but as your world. No one looks at her that way anymore. They don't know her favorite things. They don't care about her insecurities. They only see what she presents, not what she hides. That's when the emptiness becomes unbearable, because what she lost wasn't just a man. It was emotional safety, the kind of love that doesn't ask for perfection, just honesty. Soon she'll start reaching out. Small messages at first. A hope you're doing well. Just checking on you. But behind those harmless words lies a storm of guilt and longing. She wants to see if the door is still open. She wants to know if you still care even after everything. But when you don't respond, or when your response is polite yet distant, it shatters her. Because in that moment, she realizes she's no longer the woman who has power over you. She's just a memory, one you've already outgrown. And from that moment on, the self-sabotage begins. She'll chase people who treat her badly, as if punishing herself for what she did to you. She'll replay the story in her head 1,000 times trying to change the ending, but she can't. Because once a woman loses a man who loved her deeply and faithfully, she never truly heals. She just learns to hide the pain better. There comes a moment, often months, sometimes years after the divorce, when her mask finally cracks. It might happen quietly in the middle of the night when she's lying awake beside a man who doesn't even know her favorite color. Or maybe it hits her one morning staring at her reflection, realizing that the woman in the mirror doesn't look like someone she recognizes anymore. That's when it hits her. Not just what she lost, but who she became. You see, guilt is heavy, but regret is haunting. It follows her everywhere, whispering reminders of the love she once had and the trust she destroyed. She'll remember how you looked at her like she was the safest place on earth and how she took that safety and burned it to ashes. And now, even when she meets someone new, there's always a shadow between them. She can laugh, she can flirt, but she can't connect. Because once a woman has betrayed real love, her heart never trusts itself again. Her emotions begin to eat her from the inside. Little by little, she loses her spark. Friends notice she's quieter now, more distant. She'll tell them she's just busy, but inside she's crumbling. Every time she sees a happy couple, she feels that ache, the one that whispers, "That could have been us." She scrolls through social media, sees you smiling, peaceful, maybe even with someone new, and it destroys her in silence. She can't hate you. You didn't do anything wrong. She can only hate herself for being the reason she lost something irreplaceable. And then comes the loneliness. Not the kind that goes away when someone calls or texts. The deep kind. The kind that sits in her soul. It's the loneliness that comes from knowing she had everything a woman could ask for and still threw it away. She'll try to distract herself with work, friends, or fleeting attention. But late at night, when the noise fades, the truth always returns. She's alone because of her own choices, and this is where most men misunderstand. They think she moved on, that she forgot. But no, she remembers everything, every word you said, every time you forgave her, every time she lied while looking in your eyes. Those moments never leave her. They replay like old tapes over and over until she breaks, and that's the true punishment. Not losing you, but realizing she'll never find another you. Eventually, life catches up to her. The thrill fades, the distractions lose their color, and the world stops clapping for her freedom. That's when reality finally whispers the truth she's been running from. She didn't win anything, she lost everything, and that realization doesn't arrive in a dramatic scene. It comes quietly while she's doing laundry, driving home alone, scrolling through her phone, and realizing no one truly knows her anymore. That's when her heart sinks into that deep, cold place only regret can reach. She'll start replaying your story in her mind like a movie she wishes she could rewrite. How it began with laughter, with promises, with the kind of love most people never find. And she'll ask herself the same question 1,000 times. Why did I do it? But there's no satisfying answer because what she was chasing wasn't real love. It was validation, the temporary high of feeling desired. And now, after the divorce, that craving has turned into her prison. Every time she tries to build something new, she compares it to what she destroyed, and nothing measures up. The men who come after you, they see the cracks. They sense the distrust, the guilt, the emotional walls. Some use it against her, others just walk away. And each time it happens, a little more of her confidence dies. Because deep down, she knows she created this version of herself, the one no longer capable of being truly loved. That's the cruel paradox of betrayal. The freedom she thought she wanted becomes the loneliness she can't escape. Years later, when she sees you, whether in person or just through a photo, she'll feel that silence again, that deep, haunting stillness inside her chest. Because you're no longer the man she betrayed, you're the man who outgrew her. Pain, you healed, you rebuilt, you found peace, the one thing she can't fake. And that's when the full weight of what she lost finally lands. Not just you as a partner, but the version of herself that existed when she was loved by you, the woman who was safe, seen, and cherished. So, if you're watching this and you're the man who was betrayed, remember this. Your pain was temporary, but her regret is permanent. You walked away with your integrity intact. She walks through life with a smile that hides a soul that will never know peace again. Because once a woman trades loyalty for illusion, she doesn't just lose her man, she loses herself forever. All cheating in a relationship.